All right, guys, time to announce Rookie of the Year. Rookie of the Year, even though he technically started a little bit at the end of the last year, but he really caught the bug at the beginning of this year. I think you all know who I'm talking about. Matt Baugh, Vintage Axe Hoarder, a.k.a. My Timber Sports Journey, a.k.a. the Cordwood Beast. Matt, I'm sending you over $100. You can buy a fraction of a new race axe and then bust it the first day out, buddy. So use it however you want, but congratulations. The guy cut for sure 3 cords of wood and another, I think, entire cord of Timber Sports wood, which is saw cut on one side and axe cut on the other side. So 4 cords, 3.5 cords, a shit ton of wood. Matt, congrats, brother. You learned a ton about axemanship this year. I know you did, because you cut more wood this year than I did over the course since I've been participating. I only cut a cord the first year. Since then, I just cut a rick face or a cord face. And you went hog wild on this and cut a shit ton of wood. Congrats, Matt. And with that out of the way, we have 2 main mini challenges. As you well know, we have the one tree challenge, which is to fell, limb, buck, split, and stack a 5-inch tree or better in one day. And we have several of you guys who have done that. First up, we have the 3 blokes from England. We have Owen Jarvis, Ben Scott, Smoke Shift, and Simon at Woodland Craft UK, I think is his name now. All those guys have YouTube channels, you know that. And they all did at least the one tree challenge. Some of them did more chopping than that. We'll get to that in a bit. A lot of these guys have done, of course, as soon as I start the camera, Smoke Shift. Hang on, rudely interrupted. I swear to you, I just moved and it's chasing me, as it does. So, as I was saying before I was rudely interrupted there, these guys that I'm mentioning, some of them have done other challenges or chopped more wood. But up next is Nathan Rostis. He also chopped or did a one tree challenge. Then we have Michelle. Michelle makes stuff. Some of these guys have YouTube channels, so you should go check them out. Then we have Mark Stone. Mark Stone did the one tree challenge as well as some other stuff. And then this year, buddy Chris Killinger did 2 small trees, and we hope to get him out to do some more chopping this year. So Chris, if you're watching, I know you are, buddy, get out there and do some more chopping this year. I promise you, you won't regret it. Joey, you guys know Joey Namick. He also did 2 one tree challenges as well as some more chopping. Go check him out. You guys probably know him, but he's got a YouTube channel as well. Veteran Mark Stone also cut a big log in half, as well as some other chopping we'll mention here coming up. Matt Punton did 2 one tree challenges. Glenn Urquhart also did the one tree challenge. Didn't want to miss you. Sorry if I did, buddy. But you also felled a tree and stacked it up in one day, which is impressive. And finally, I think Matt Keevil did one tree challenge and a lot of chopping. All right, I got to move the camera again. My eyes are watering. All right, that's better. Can't wander too far from the fire here. It's cold out today. And the next mini challenge is the Big Log Challenge, which is not mini by any means. Have to cut a 22-inch diameter log in half, so notches from both sides. And this is the one challenge that I have yet to complete and maybe will never do, because your guys are crazy. And the craziest of all you big log choppers is Joey Hamilton. Hamilton, I think, is his last name. Joey, you know who you are. Name's on the screen. Dude cut 3 big logs this year. Every year he cuts at least 2 or 3. And he cut 3 this year, which is insane. Insane. Also, new to the Big Log Challenge this year is Cody Clapper. Cody cut a big white oak log in half. I do not envy him for having done so, but he has that under his belt now. And I imagine you learn something very different doing that about chopping. He hardly needs to be mentioned, but of course Matt Baugh did 2 big logs this year because he's insane as well. Kurt S. also got out there just in the nick of time and found a big spotted gum, I believe, and cut it in half with the axes he had on hand. He also cut some big logs. The tree hazard log is the one I'm thinking of. I don't envy him on that either. I don't know if I mentioned it, but Juris Zelenko also did a big log. Don't want to miss you, buddy. Sorry if I did. Juris Zelenko, big log. And finally, last but not least, is Willie Fick. Willie got out there and cut a big log, as well as Tim Winston. They both cut big logs that qualify for the mini challenge. On to the cord face, or the rick, and then we'll get to those who actually cut a cord or more a year. On to the rick. So I cut a little bit more than a rick face this year. Did a couple of one tree challenges, but this is about you guys. And first up for a cord face or a rick is Owen Jarvis. He managed to cut a little better than a rick this year with the help of Simon and Ben. Simon cut a good bit, he said, as well. So Simon and Owen got a rick face. Next up, I have Nathan Rostis down for a rick. I seem to remember him cutting more than that, but that's what I have him down for. I do apologize if I miss anybody especially, but if I get this quite a little wrong, let me know in the doobly-doo. We'll certainly correct that any way we can. And next up is Brian Two Bears. He has a YouTube channel as well. You guys know him. He cut down a big sugar maple, hard maple, and got a little over a rick face as well. And finally, for the rick entry is Joey Namick. Joey got a little over a rick face this year. Did a lot of chopping. He really got the bug. Like to see the new guys out there. So, Joey, keep at it. I'd love to see you get a cord this year, buddy. All right, moving on to the main challenge, the Cordwood Challenge of 2022. Those who cut a cord or more. Yes, we have some people who cut more than a cord. But first up is Mark Stone. Mark cut an entire cord using an axe only, which is a lot of wood, guys. Back again, as always, only uses an axe to process his firewood is Theud Bold. Theud cut at least a cord. He's not really sure, but that's the only way he processes his wood, with an axe. Good on you, man. Good on you. Neil Williamson also cut a cord of wood this year. Once again, back out there, choppy, a cord of wood with an axe. Steve Grosvenor also cut a cord of wood again. Good on you, Steve. You guys just keep on getting out there and cutting a cord every year. That's impressive. It really is. I can't imagine doing that every year, and you guys keep on doing it. And then last but not least, for the single cord of wood is Matt Keevil. He did a lot of chopping this year. Also has a YouTube channel. You should check it out. I like it. He does some narration and did some cool handle stuff this year as well. So Matt cut a cord as well. Not Matt Baugh, but Matt Keevil. On to those who cut more than a single cord. And we do have a couple. Joey Hamilton also cut, I think it's Hamilton, apologize if it's not. Joey Hamilton also cut 2 cords of wood along with the other mini challenges. Luke McNair is back again. He cut 2+ cords of wood. The guy's just out there swinging the axe and stacking up the firewood. And last but certainly not least, you guys all know him, it's Matt Baugh, Vintage Axe Hoarder, aka the Cordwood Goat. He cut 3+ cords of wood this year. I don't know what got under his hood this year, but he really got a bee in his bonnet and went out there early in the year and stacked up 3+ cords of firewood and then shifted into steel timber sports training. So the guy learned so much about axemanship this year, and much like Ben, has transferred that now into the timber sports interest. So it'll be cool to see if we can get another guy to get up there on the steel timber sports stage. And somehow I don't doubt that Matt will be up there one day. Matt, keep at it. If I missed anybody, I apologize, but those are the guys I have written down. There was one new guy, Mikkel, who posted on the Cordwood page this year. I wasn't sure how much you cut. And a lot of these other guys that I mentioned that did like one tree challenges, whatnot, they also did a lot of chopping. But unless you hit that rick, then, you know, we just give you an honorable mention. And Renee Zawala, I know he chops. I just hadn't heard from him. So I don't know how much you did, Renee. but I'm sure you were out there chopping. I'm sure there's other guys as well. My first year, I didn't even have a smartphone to take photos or anything, but I just followed along with Steven. So I'm sure there are some of you out there right now that are watching this that are thinking about getting into it or are participating with us in some capacity. I also want to say those who follow along with this challenge or enjoy watching us chop but feel intimidated about taking on a rick a year, you don't have to do that. Start with the one tree challenge. I promise you, if you start with a tree that's 5 inches or better and attempt to do that in one day, you will learn a lot about chopping, and you will learn it's not as easy as some of these guys make it look. And I would just emphasize safety again. We did have one injury this year, and that was Matt, and it was just this fluke thing. He wasn't even chopping. So just be mindful of that edge at all times. I call it edge consciousness. And I learned more about this by using shop tools. You will never use a more dangerous tool than the table saw, I promise you. And you always have to be mindful of where your hands are at in relation to that blade. And the same goes with a chainsaw, and the same goes even more so with an axe. I'm going to do a video here soon of what's more dangerous, the axe or the chainsaw. And just spoiler, I think it's the axe for reasons I'll mention. Anyways, guys, it was another great year in 2022. Same rules apply for 2023. Some of you guys are already out there, I'm sure, but please continue to get out there and chop. Just be safe, be mindful of your feet and legs. So until then, stay warm if it's cold where you're at. If it's hot where you're at, stay cool. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.